evening, good people. Welcome to another 203K Tuesday. I am your host, Aaron the House Person, and this is the place you come to find out everything you don't know about the 203K loan and learn how you can use the 203K loan to help create, build, and sustain generational wealth. So tonight we have a special guest, Mr. Darren Phillip. He is with Don't Forget Home Improvements, and I absolutely love the name. If you saw it on the intro or the bookmark for today, you see it's a little different spelling with that, but great name. You know, I'm a pun person myself, so give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and bring Darren in. Darren, hold up. Let me hit the unmute.
You got me?
There you go. Gotcha.
Okay, sound good.
What's going on, man? How we doing?
Not bad. Working hard and working smart at the same time.
Hey, those are two good things. That's a great combination. So I think that combination is probably why you are doing as well as you're doing. So you are a contractor, and you are a contractor that works on 203Ks. So what I want to do is just go through the interview portion of the questions, and then on the back end, we'll go ahead and just, talk about you, talk about your business, and anything else real estate related.
Sounds good.
All right. Good. So let's start. The first question is, do you know the 203K process from start to finish, and have you worked with this loan before?
Well, yes and yes. I definitely know the process. I've been doing this process for about 3 years. In the 3 years, well, this July 7th, 2021 will be 3 years.
Okay.
I've done between 20 and 25. The reason I say between 20 and 25, because some of them, I don't count the 203Ks that I actually take over. The ones that I start from top to finish is the one. So the other 5 that I came in the middle of, because another contractor couldn't handle it or didn't understand the process.
Okay, great. So are you licensed, bonded, insured in the state or area that you're working in?
Yes, I am. I'm actually licensed, bonded, and insured in the tri-state area, which is, in our case, is New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and the Long Island area. So I go between an hour and 1 hour and 45 minutes outside of my radius, which is the borough of Brooklyn, New York. And in between that, there's miles, if you will, of the hour. I use the hour, between the hour and 45 minutes. I travel and my team travels.
Okay. All right. Do you have any additional credentials, certifications, anything like that, like belong to any type of professional organizations, anything of that nature?
Yes, I do. I'm not also a licensed contractor, but I'm also well, they call it in New York State, they call it a supervisor. So I have my lead in my company, have our lead credentials. We have our mold credentials. We also now, I personally have my supervisor for asbestos. So I have my supervisor asbestos license that eventually I'll be going into. That'll be another part of the company, which we'll be doing later on. And then the minorities, the MBEs, and all of these type of things, I have the city and the state certified. So those things I have as well. So to answer your question, anything to do with credentials, to do with contracting, I have, because I don't like anybody to tell me no, or you don't have the adequate, all the things that's needed. So adequate, enough things that can stop me from being the person I am.
Like it. So mold, asbestos, lead. Okay.
Mold, asbestos, lead. My MBEs, my minority, so I can handle anything to do on the state and city levels, which are transferable in different states as well.
Okay. How long have you been in this business and running your own crew?
Well, I've been running my own crew now for 3 years.
Okay.
I've been running it for 3 years, but I've been in this business probably about 20 years. because I'm into real estate. So I got into this business to help my margins as being a go-getter in the real estate field.
Okay. What would you say is the most complicated 203K project you've worked on?
Whew. The most complicated one that I've worked on, to be honest with you, is one that we're finishing now. So what this was is it's a in New York City we have something called brownstones, which is big. A lot of people like brownstones. So these brownstones are buildings that used to be something that you could pick up for 50,000 that now are over the $1 million mark. So the issue I had with this brownstone is that we add an addition to this brownstone. So pricing it prior to what it costs finished puts me underwater. So basically I had to add more into the property than what the 203 process allowed me to do.
Mm.
So that's a story that I can start from top to bottom. But basically what I tell all 203 contractors, because I also consult to a lot of different contractors that don't understand the business, to let them know, because it can go I call it 360 degrees very fast if you don't know exactly what you're doing or understand the process.
Okay. Okay. Huh. So you said had to man.
So
So
basically, so
basically it's
basically
over
what I put
budget.
in this project is just think of a mortgage. Think of your mortgage, you're buying a house and it goes underwater. The 203 process could go underwater as well. Some people don't understand they don't understand going into it. As we continue to go into it, they don't understand line items. And you have to make sure your contracts between yourself and the HUD consultant is tight. If it's not tight, you could be in trouble. And my contracts are normally tight. The issue that I did is I'm a homeowner and a renovator. So what that means is if I see something that needs to be done, I'm going to do it. I don't leave it for chance. And that was the problem with this project. I continued to just do all the problems that came arise, do, which I shouldn't have. But
Okay,
it's a great
so
expensive learning period, but it was good for my company because we learned a lot on this project. And this project is going to be basically what we call our advertisement.
okay. So what I just heard was you are someone who wants to make sure you are doing quality work, and in this particular case you wanted to make sure the work was done right to the point where it actually went above the budget or above what you were actually getting out of this situation. Did I sum that
Absolutely.
up kind of?
You
Okay.
hit it right on the nose.
Okay.
That's exactly
Man.
what happened.
Okay. That sounds like some real good integrity. I like that.
Yeah,
I
I
like
mean
that.
that's what we stand by. We're one of the few companies that don't run away. I don't run away. I've only had one bad 203K, well, two bad 203K bad experiences, and that's because of the homeowner more than myself. But I take the blame on it because these are some things that you have to know. But as I tell everybody in the 203K, the process of it, all of it is the same, but each individual project is different in itself.
100, 100. Okay. Roughly anyway, how many building permits would you say you've like obtained in the last year or two?
Building permits on the 203, just strictly the 203 side.
Well, we can start with 203K, but I mean, we stay since we're in the renovation space, we can talk on both sides. But yeah, let's start with 203K.
Okay, so in a 203K side, since I've done 25 projects, 15 of the 25 are building permits.
Okay.
And when I say building permits, that's just me. But I obviously, being a GC, I have my electricians, I have my plumbers. They need to pull their permits as well. So individual permitting is needed.
Mhm.
So for me, on just the 203K side, let's go with 20 permits,
Okay. Okay.
say
So
about 20 203K. And as far as renovation, I've probably done 50 to close to 100 because I also have what I didn't talk about. I also have New York City. We have street regulations. So a lot of our homes here are, there's no space. We have sidewalks. You don't have the land area that you need. So what here to be able to do work on your sidewalk, you have to get a permit for that. you have to have a certain registration for that I have. It's called a DOT, Department of Department of they have Department of Transportation here, and I call it Department of Terrain, because basically anything that you need to do with the street, you have to pay them for a permit.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's good information for folks who didn't know. Like, hey, that part out front where you think you want to park your dumpster and get rid of all that debris, you're gonna have to pay for something right there. You can't just drop it out there and keep it moving.
Exactly, and I try to explain to a lot of people as well is what they don't know is normally in our area, the more for us, because we don't put these dumpsters in a driveway, we put them on the street. You have to get a street permit for that. So because of that, I had to get my qualifications for that. And also, I'm also a builder. I'm not only a renovator, I build as well. And you need, in order for you to dig into the ground, New York's in the tri-state area, you have to have this qualification.
Okay. All right. So I know the answer already, but I still got to ask the question. Are you currently working on any 203K projects?
I should answer your question. How many projects I'm not working as 203K? Yeah, 203K is my bread and butter. The reason it's my bread and butter because 203K is all year round. Most contractors have a lull in their business. I don't. I have more than enough, and I'm fighting them away, basically, because 203Ks, as what some people don't know, there are two different type of 203Ks, and I take on both. Okay. I like the quick turnaround. I like the long, I call it the long tunnel way of doing it. A tunnel takes a long time to finish. So I take some of those 203Ks. Those are the grand renovation, those are the extensions, those are the additions. So I do both of them. So I'm doing now probably about 5 at this point in time. 5 with 5 people waiting.
5 on the waiting list. Okay. All right. Busy man.
Yes, sir.
Well, the next question you kind of already answered. The question is, do you have the financial capacity to start a 203K project right now? But you're doing 5 and you got 5 waiting. So, I mean, I think we know the answer to that question. The reason that question is in there is because a lot of times people don't understand, or some contractors don't understand just that, sometimes that money, you got to be able to have some money to float things until you can get that draw. So you doing 5, you got 5 waiting. I think it's safe to say that you're okay and you're in a good position to be able to do the next one or the next 5 that you already got in line.
That's absolutely right. Also, like I tell a lot of contractors that ask me, how do you do it? How can you float it? How do you do it this way? You also have to understand scheduling in the 203K. Construction is a process. A lot of homeowners have to understand that as well. I teach my homeowners that too. It's a process. There's demo, there's framing, there's installation. So we have to do it in the process. And you have to have your drawers set up that way. How many things can you float at what time and how long is it going to take you? So I do a good job scheduling. I know that my guys I know that if I'm going to demo a 2-unit house, for example, I know that demo should take me 2 weeks. That's cleaning the top to bottom, getting rid of all the construction debris that you can walk in there and didn't know what happened in there. So I know that takes 2 weeks. So in that 2 weeks, I got to make sure I have my dumpsters ready. I got to make sure have it for my dumpster. I got to make sure I can float my guys for 3 weeks. You don't float them. That's where people make the mistake. They say, okay, your project is 2 weeks. No, it's really 3 weeks because it takes you 2 weeks to do it. It takes a day or 2 for the HUD consultant to get there. It takes a day for him to send it in to the process drawer. That processor sends it to their boss to get approved. All that takes about a week. So you have to know your time frame. And being in the 203K space for the last 2 years, I learned the process. I've had my bumps and bruises as well, but what I've learned is scheduling. Once you can schedule it well, then you won't have any problem. One project I'm doing now in the Bronx, I've scheduled it ahead of time. And there's also what people don't know, there's 203K, there's 203K banks that give you material draws. That helps. If you get a material draw, that helps float a lot of contractors. But you got to be ready to go. You got to be on your guys. You got to move. You got to understand. You got to understand what I call this is, for me, this is a 203K game, and you have to understand the game.
Okay. All right. Playing chess, not checkers.
You know it.
All
Working
right.
smart, not hard.
So if someone were to contact you and ask, hey, do you have any things, any projects that they can come take a look at, before and after pictures, all that good stuff, you have that readily available for them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I even tell people, because I get calls from other contractors seeing the website, going on the 203K, because I'm 203K certified. So there's actually a website that does the certification. And I have contractors call in and just ask me, how do you do it this way? In our state is this way. How do you do it this way? And I explain them from top to bottom, all my downfalls, all my ups, so they can understand the way it goes. So I have plenty of projects that people could take a look at. I've got plenty of pictures. I got plenty of references, which is the key. You got to have people that actually said that this person did a good job. So I have plenty of those that they can talk to for that. That's why I get so many calls. I think I get about, to be honest, and I didn't know that many people were doing 203Ks, but I maybe get at least 6 calls a day on 203Ks. So it's, for me, it's easy. It's easy. And what makes it is like I explain to the homeowner, to the client, even to some of the lenders that have a 203K program but don't understand the 203K. So I explain it to them, let them know the skinny on it. This is what goes, this is how it has to be done, and this is the way to do it. You can use anybody you want, because I'm one of the guys that give information. I can actually charge for the consultant service, but I don't, because I got into this business because I'm into real estate. Things didn't go right with me with contractors, and I didn't want everybody to go through the same. And 203K is the answer. And I got to tell people, 203K is the answer when it comes to construction, because everyone that's involved with the 203K have to be on the up and up, have to be clean, or it won't get done.
Okay, I like it. I like it a lot. So you actually kind of stole my thunder on question number 10, which is, do you have any current clients that someone could call? But we know the answer to that one,
Yeah.
which is yes, clearly. So that actually wraps up the interview portion.
Okay.
Now let's get a little more into you, your business, and everything like that. So don't forget the name. Could you
Mm-hmm.
spell it for the people who didn't see the preview?
Okay. So it's DONT. DONT, just like don't. That's across the board. It's in the Webster dictionary, the don't. But this is where it becomes tricky. The name of my company is Don't Fah-Get. That's FAH-GET. So the reason for the forget, it's actually Italian. It's an Italian word. What people don't understand is, in the United States of America, prior to us being on the earth, a lot of Italians started construction here, especially the New York area. So what I did was, as a minority individual, I used that name to give my company a no color. We're not black, we're not white, we're not green. This is the name. These are the type of individuals that were using it. This is what it is. And then it's self-explanatory after that. You don't want anybody to forget you. So no one will ever forget me. And the spelling is grammatically incorrect. So once you see the name, it's real easy after that.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree. When I saw the name, I was like, oh, I like this. I like this a lot, because it's not one that you will forget. I mean, don't forget.
Exactly. I see people when I have my guys, I've watched my guys, because we have the hats, as you see, we have the sweatshirts, we have the apparel, and I watch people like try to mimic it all the time, like, and I watched them seeing it, and I know, and once I seen that, then I know I'm arrived.
Yeah,
Like there's a big company now soliciting us now. It's a state job. It's called um humanity of human and human humanity. I don't know exactly the right name for it right now, But on the name alone is the reason that they asked me to bid on the project. Just on the name alone, they was like, listen, our boss saw this name. He was in awe of the name. He saw some of your projects. I like you to do this state agency. So with that alone, just the name alone, brings people in.
I indeed it should, because again, it is hard to forget that name. So, and a person who likes to use puns a lot. Again, I'm Aaron. My last name is Person, right? So I'm Aaron, the house person, right? So when I saw that immediately, I was like, man, like I gotta call this guy because that's
it works. We barked up the same tree on that.
right. So, kind of shifting gears, but not at the same time. Not too much. One of the things I spoke about earlier, with my background being a high school basketball coach or middle school and high school basketball coach, I say, you got to have your 203K starting lineup, right? And the contractor in the starting lineup is the center because they are holding down the paint, right? Oh, excuse me, not the center, but the power forward, because they doing like the heavy lifting. They out there, we talking about the old school power forward, not not the stretch. But
I definitely know what you're talking about.
yeah, so you holding it down, doing the heavy lifting, all that good stuff. But in that same spirit, your background, could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, I'm a former athlete. I'm a former professional athlete. I played professional basketball for 18 years. I played 18 years, 12 years in Spain, 6 years in Argentina, and I mixed in a couple summer things. The only thing that I didn't accomplish was playing in the NBA, but I did have a contract to play for the Philadelphia 76ers, and I didn't take it because I couldn't get out of my contract in Europe. Because I'm originally from London, so I'm considered a Euro playing over there. So it was a little bit different. It's a little bit different. I didn't have to fight with the Americans to get in. So it was basically they had a Euro American is what they called me. So that's what put me on, and that's what taught me hard work. And that's what actually got me into the business because my father told me, my father was a contractor by trade, and he explained to me, listen, you're making this kind of money. This is what you should do with your money. You should put it into real estate. I do construction. This is something that you need to do going on forward. And when you've done basketball, this is something that you could continue on. So being a professional basketball, which is my background, I'm an athlete by trade. Because the reason I got into construction, as I said to you, is because I needed something to do with the money that I made, and it opened the doors to trade. My family, this is what they do. My background is from the Caribbean islands, what my family does. So most of the Caribbean individuals that come into the construction field. So that's what makes me. And to being that you said power forward, that was my position overseas.
Oh, look, that just comes straight natural then.
Absolutely. But to be honest with you, the being an athlete has taught me is made my business strive, and that's because it's all about discipline. As you know, as a coach, and what you have to teach, you teach discipline. You teach finishing the play. You teach finishing what you do. If they ask you to do something, you do it without no question asked. And I treat my business the same way. So if it wasn't for being an athlete of basketball, I wouldn't be disciplined. In construction or my business, it's not 9 to 5. Mine is 12 to 12. So I had to say yesterday to everyone, like, listen, it's MLK Day. I am not working today. I had to pull myself to it because it's just something that's instilled in me, hard work, and it pays off. And it's been doing well. And my partner is my cousin, and he's phenomenal. I call him the LeBron James of construction. He's that good. He's the type of person you could talk to him over the phone, and he can lay out a house for you. That's how good he is. And because of him is the reason I actually got into the 203K, because you have to understand deadlines and you have to understand mistakes, and he's the guy for that.
Okay, so your past or well, your father and your path in life as far as playing basketball, you find that those are two things that really helped you out as far as organizing and growing your business and really just helping you flourish to the point where you are able to help people. You're giving to the point where, again, you want the job to be done right, no matter what, to the point where you're going above and beyond where you actually have to on paper, because again, these contracts are written as the scope of work, like this is what we're going to do. But you see something that's not there, it's like, okay, I got, just to make it right, I got to go ahead and finish that. So that's a wonderful thing, man. That's a wonderful thing. Is, again, that integrity is sometimes not found out here in the streets when you looking for quality contractors. There are some horror stories. Now, when we spoke earlier, speaking of horror stories, you said that you were a little bit late because, and that's why you're in your car now, because you were cleaning up somebody else's mess. Could you talk about that a little bit? Without calling any names, though.
Absolutely, won't do that. I won't do that anyway. I always say some people just had misfortunes. Like another contractor, I'm one of the few contractors. If you hired me and you what you want to do, because I tell all my clients, Google the information. That's what the World Wide Web is for. Get all the information, get it. I'm one of the few contractors. You could have 5 contractors in a house at the same time. Most contractors have an attitude with that. I don't, because of my integrity, because of my work practice, and because of the confidence I have in my team. I'll go in the same room with a contractor. We both could be measuring at the same time. If he gets the job, no hard loss for me, because I understand what it is. I'm not everyone's flavor, because I'm gonna tell it to you like it is when it comes to this. And I didn't understand that starting. So, not to sidetrack, what happened with why it was a horror story is basically is these people called me to do the 203K. I told them that I couldn't do it at the time. You just have to give me some time and I will talk to the bank. Because I also deal with banks. A lot of banks vet the 203 contractors. So I have good relationship because I finished their project. So they could get to going on charging the homeowner. I explained to them, I said, listen, give me a month, I'll get over to it. No, I have to go ahead and get this done. So they hired another guy. The guy told him New York City is very difficult when it comes to the permits and the plans and the things that you need in order to renovate a home. So whoever the individual, because I don't know which individual, I don't know if it was the contractor, his boss, whoever the person was, they told them that they didn't need any of these. They would help them fly underneath the radar. None of that happened. There was no flying under the radar. The city's Department of Building came. They put a stop work order on the site. But besides that, they had workers, and you know what I mean, workers that shouldn't be working. So you know what I mean when I go there. So what happened there was they wanted everybody evacuated in there. So what happened was they called me. Listen, Darren, I need your help. Something's going on with my house. I'm not there. The contractor's calling. There's a problem. So I happened to be not far from a project that I was actually seeing, so which was a coincidence. So I fly over there to get over there. As soon as I get there, because I work with a lot of individuals here, the inspector was somebody that I know, somebody that I worked with for a while. So he was like, Darren, is this your project? I said, no, this is not my project, but this is a friend of the family. What's going on? Said, D, well, they were doing this without a plan, without permits, without the whole nine. And when I got there, they couldn't give me the right answers. I didn't have the person to talk to. I can't even speak the language. So I'm fluent in Spanish and Italian. So I go off to some of the guys that were hired in. I talk to them in Spanish. Listen. I talk to them, basically put out the fire for them for the meantime. But he already processed everything. So now they have to get an architect. So what's going to cost them more money? Good thing about the 203K, there's a contingency for all of that. Unforgiven circumstances, they have the contingency. So what they have to do is get an architect to put that together and go through the process. It's going to put a slow on the project for them, maybe another 3 months between the drawing, the filing, the returning, the putting it back in. There's going to be a few things, but Now it's going to be done the right way. And they kicked that guy off the job. And since I left there, they've called me about 10 times. I just haven't answered because there's nothing I can really say to them, to be honest. I told them this is going to do. If you're going to do it under the radar, you have to have the right people under the radar. And it's not something I tell homeowners to do, but some homeowners, if you can't afford to do it that way, you can't afford to do it. You got to figure other ways to do it. Everyone does it. But the difference is I have the right people at the door. I know who not to make sure this person doesn't answer, make sure this person doesn't come in. If you have to answer, you can't answer until the boss get there. When I get there, I'll put out the fire. So the 203K from top to bottom, it's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts. People don't understand. People think it's easy. They can get whoever can do it. This person understands it. No one ever understands it. In 203K, it changes daily. You have to be ready to adapt. And being an international athlete, being away, being cultured, speak different language, I understand how to adapt because I wouldn't have been able to play that many years if I didn't adapt. So it translates to my business. You have to be able to adapt on the run.
Okay, so again, your previous experience in life has allowed you to develop the skills needed to use now when you gotta, be like a chameleon and just go wherever the water is going. Okay, let's figure out. Okay, we gonna make that happen. So that's phenomenal. And also I hear that experience and patience. So if you are impatient, you may mess around and make things even worse for yourself, such as the person who called you and couldn't wait an extra month, but now called you back to try to help come in there and come clean things up. So, folks, you got to be patient. You gotta look for quality people, and when you find quality people, again, if you got to wait a little bit, it'll be worth the wait because you don't want to end up costing yourself more money when you thought you might have been saving yourself money and you didn't. So
you hit it right on the head. The hammer to the nail. I couldn't have said it better myself. You're exactly right. And people have to understand that. Even the 203K process, 203K has line items. People have to understand that. I mean, I don't know if you've done one of your shows by that, but one of your shows should be explaining line items and understanding it. That's the biggest part in the 203K what people don't understand. And just to go over it, just a quick oversight on it, let's use cabinets. What people don't understand in the line item of a cabinet and countertop, yes, the line item might say 10,000, but you don't get 10,000 to do your kitchen. What you do, you might get 4,000. Do you also in that line item, the contractor has to take out of that line item the material for it. He has to take the labor out of it, and the most important, he has to take the taxes out of it, because everything that you write on your business becomes taxable. And that, when I mean your insurance has payroll tax.
Line items. I got to start by that one.
You have to start it because a lot of homeowners don't understand line items. Make sure you put that down. Line items and understanding. People have to understand line items. If they get a project that's 100,000, the line items add to 100,000. They do not have 100,000 to spend on their project. They might have 75,000. 25,000 goes to labor. 25,000 goes to insurance. 25,000 goes to running that business for the contract. And people don't understand that. I live in New York. They charge us on my license, on my workman's comp is 30% of my jobs. So right from the bat, 100,000 is only 70,000 for me. So I have to make it work from there. So that's what you have to start. That's one of the big things in the 203K, what people don't understand is understanding line items. Understand what the amount of money that they're getting from the bank and what can exactly do. That's why in my 203K, I do it a little different. I give them allotment numbers. If your project has the line item for your vanity, and your vanity, you have 2 bathrooms, and your vanity, the line items are $1,000, I tell them you have $200 of allotment money in order to get the vanity. You can pick any vanity you want, up to $200. And you have to make sure that people understand that. That's where other contractors get wrong. They just see the project and they go. They don't really understand the ins and outs. And that's past experience, things that happened to me. And there was their expensive experiences, because you can't tell the bank later or the homeowner later, well, you know, the $1,000 you only get $100. You can't say it after you sign the contract. So you
Yeah,
have to know.
that
You
would
have
be
to know.
bad.
Yeah, got to know what you're doing on there. So,
So
if that's something that you guys didn't touch on, please touch on that. And I like to be
yeah,
back on. I like to be back on whoever you're talking to, just to chime in on it.
okay, we can make that happen. Maybe we do like a contractor roundtable and just have a few of y'all just chopping it up and just
That would be
breaking
great.
down those line items and things that people don't really think about that go along with the process, or not even think about, but just you just don't know, right? And like I say, this is the place where people come to find out the things that they don't know about the 203K, and there are a lot of things that people don't know about it. So
Absolutely, there's a
I
lot.
definitely love the fact that you have an educator's heart. I think that when your client is as informed as possible, that just makes the process for everybody that much better. There's no way you can impart X amount of years of knowledge on your client in a short period of time, but by giving them some expectations, by telling them, hey, this is how it should go. And then as you go through the process, remember we said this is what's going to be next, and da 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 da. I think again that just takes a little bit of pressure off of their shoulders, and also as well as all of the other parties involved with the transaction, be it realtor, consultant, contractor like yourself. So you coming from that educational standpoint, man, I greatly appreciate that, and I thank you on behalf of the clients that you've had and the ones that you will have in the future, because I definitely can see that you are doing what you can to educate them along that process, man. And again, that's a powerful thing. And
Appreciate it.
and
Appreciate
and
it.
you're applying that knowledge. So it's not just giving the knowledge, but you're directly applying it as you go through the process with them, like grabbing their hands and walking them through that process. So that's a thumbs up situation right there. Great.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. You have to. You have to. It's the same thing. You're putting the reason when you reached out to me that it was a no brainer, because you're putting on yourself a platform that's not there. People need this platform. Like, this is what they need to see. They it's that you hear you should be involved in this. You should be involved in this, but you really never actually know. And you're putting together something that's going to springboard more people into the 203K format, which is real big, because this is a way, like I tell everyone, this is your equity that you're using. Sometimes people don't know how to use the equity. They use the equity to do things they shouldn't do, is what I call it. Why not do it? Take the equity to build your own portfolio. And this is why they put this thing together. The banks are smart in the sense that they used it to use you to spend more money, but you have to use it back the other way. Okay, you want us to spend more money? I'm going to have the house the way I want it. I'm going to have the building the way I want it. I'm going to have my property the way I want it. And you have to be just as smart as they are, or act like you're just as smart as they are, and make sure you get to where you need to get to. I love the 203K platform. Myself, personally, I'm in the process of using it for myself.
Okay.
So I mean, this is what people should do. And I thank you, and that's a thumbs up for you for putting this together, because I haven't seen this before. I haven't seen it. I haven't had anybody reach out to me in this form. Just the 203K, these guys certify them, but they give you an exam, you pay a fee, they go through the whole thing, they go through your credentials to make sure you can handle a 203K. But besides you two, I haven't seen it. And what you're doing is phenomenal. And you need to put it together for everyone. The different states get the round tables, put this together, because this is something that's very important, especially especially for the minorities as well, because minorities never didn't understand the process. And to be honest with you, in the New York region, minorities are dominating the 203K process.
Hmm. Okay, didn't know that. That's a good thing,
Yeah,
and I appreciate that. That, like I say, this platform, my process, or not my process, but my background was kind of a discovery one where I had a client, they were looking to do a 203K, went to a lender who said they can do it, and I had no experience with it. So I'm leaning on the lender who said they can do it, but after the loan was closed, it was ghost town. I'm like, hey, what do we do? Hello? Oh, call who? Okay.
They got
I
they
call
got
that
their paid. They got their points. They got their
hey.
paid, and that's out the door.
So I call that person and they like, why they send you to me? So then at that point, like you said, Google. So okay, let me figure this thing out. How can I do this? How can I do that? But I'm thankful for that experience because had it been not for that experience, I wouldn't have put on my hat, my thinking cap, and went out there and ended up finding a lender who specializes in 203Ks. And that particular person, like basically just took me under their wing and taught me quite a few things that I did not know. And that culmination led me to realize that people really don't know. And I'm talking about, I asked agents who have been in the business longer than me, hey, can you tell me about the 203K? No, you don't want to mess with that. So everybody just kind of just brushed me off. But I'm like, no, it's something to this, and I'm going to figure it out. So, like I say, that education piece, as far as us learning ourselves and then taking it to the people, is what I'm all about, man. So that's why I say I really appreciate the fact that you are an educator at heart, because so am I. I really like this platform. I really want to. Somebody chimed in about the line items. I really want to make sure that people really understand what their options are, because really in life is about options. And if we don't know, we don't know. So, I mean, we went into overtime. We went into
Okay,
overtime a little bit,
sorry,
but
sorry about that.
but I mean, it was good overtime, and I definitely appreciate you coming on to the platform and sharing all the gems that you did, man. Because I know we got some good stuff in here that people will say, man, okay. Like I tell people all the time, you got to have your pen and your paper. I'm in here taking notes myself because I'm always trying to learn as much as I possibly can in order to be able to bring that to the people. So for those who are looking for you, I mean, like I said, you got 5 in the can now waiting. But for those who are looking for you, how can they find you?
Well, I'm real easy. Like I said, the name speaks for itself. Is DONTFAHGET. That is, don't forget. I'm real easy. You put me into Google, you'll be able to find me under 203K certified contractors. They have their platform. You'll be able to find me. My Instagrams, my personal Instagram is Don't Forget DP. My business Instagram is Don't Forget Improvements. So don't forget it's all over the platform. Once you put Don't Forget it, that's FAH-GET -GET, however you like to write it. My website's available. You'll be able to go. That's don'tforgethomeimprovements.com. The www.don'tforgethomeimprovements.com. My email is dp@licensegc, but the company email is contact us at don'tforgethomeimprovements.com. All of that information will get you to one spot. Because of the platform that I'm on, the platform that you've put me on here, that the people will find me. That's not an issue here. If they reach out to you, feel free to give them my information. I don't have a problem here. The company's phone number is 718-517-9911. It's real easy. It's real easy to contact. Whatever your needs are when it comes to the 203K, whatever your needs are when it comes to construction, even if I have time to sit down and have a conversation just to teach individuals what they need to know about it, I have no problem with it. The only thing is my schedule. You have to schedule with me. My schedule is very tight because I have a lot of individuals that I have to help. I call it helping more than charging, because at the same time, I want people to win. My thing is, I've been blessed, and I want to pass the blessings on.
Mm. All right. Well, look, on that note, we're going to go ahead and end it there because you done took us up there. So, Darren, I appreciate you coming on, man. Again, folks, don't forget home improvements. Just Google it, right? You'll find it. DONTFAH.
There it is.
Right?
There it
Put that
is.
dash in there. Don't forget. All right, so Darren, again, appreciate it, man, and we'll be in contact.
And I salute you. Whatever you need, I'm here. Anytime you need roundtable, whatever you need to put together, let's put it on a schedule and let's get it going. But I appreciate the call. You guys have a good one. Just pass on the information. Everyone, good luck. Enjoy, because this is a process. Talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks. See ya. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and ring that bell. Thanks for watching.